And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of New Earth TV Live, where I'm going to be bringing Adronis in here very shortly, and he'll be giving some feedback, some insight regarding the outlook of the remainder of 2023. So it's going to be a very exciting transmission. Hope you all enjoy it. And of course, today is Friday, so as I promised, Friday being August 18th, it is the debut of the brand new Etherics Academy. So, Etherics Academy is now online for pre-enrollment. So you can go to ethericsacademy.com, and our enrollment is 30 days. So we have a 30-day window from today, being August 18th, up until September 18th. I'm also going to be creating some videos for the Etherics Academy this weekend to be up on my YouTube channel to tell you guys a little bit more about it. But you can also find an introduction video on the ethericsacademy.com website. So it is now available for enrollment. There's no limit to the amount of students that we can have within the span of 30 days. We can have as many students as we want. There is no prerequisite for students as well too, whether you're very new to all of this understanding regarding spiritual growth, whether you're an intermediate or whether you're an advanced, whether you're an expert, or whether you've been doing this for a very long time and you want to refresh yourself, you want to look at new perspectives, then the Etherics Academy is perfect for you. What is the Etherics Academy going to teach you? Well, it's going to teach you everything, pretty much from what you've seen here on the YouTube channel, where I've been talking a lot about working with your own inner self, developing your chakras, building your subtle body, building your astral body, building your causal body, learning a lot more about the chakra centers, kundalini activation, right? Learning about resonant dowsing, okay? Learning about personal healing, learning to heal others properly, working with the spirit healing power, learning how to communicate with spirit, right? It goes on and on. There's a great deal of information and knowledge that is going to be shared on the Etherics Academy, so that after the 6 months, you'll have a very powerful foundation-based understanding about how to do the type of things that I do. For example, working with imbuing objects with source energy. Okay, so that's one example. Working with yourself and being able to see much more of the bigger picture of reality. So the Etherics Academy is now online, ethericsacademy.com. You can go ahead and you can check it out right now. You can go ahead and enroll. When you enroll, and after you make your purchase for the first month, because again it's a 6-month long course and it's $77 US per month, once you enroll, you can actually log on to your account and you'll see an area where you can access pre-course material, right? So there's a few videos. There's also information about the root chakra that is currently up. I'm currently adding a lot more of the pre-course materials to the list, so that will be up here by August 20th. So that will be available for you as well too. So it's giving yourself a little bit of time for pre-study before we get into the official class starting on September 2nd. Okay, so it will be on September 2nd, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time for all students. All right, and I'm looking forward to that. So go ahead and check it out now, ethericsacademy.com. I will be doing some more videos for the Academy that will be up this weekend for through newearthteachings.com, so you guys, or through New Earth Teachings YouTube channel, so you can check it out. All right, so we'll get on to our other announcements. Here we go.
Instead of forgetting to take 19,002 supplements a day, sleep with the
And of course, a reminder that the promo code August20OFF, all capital letters, is available. Receive 20% off all products in your order through etherix.co. This is valid until August 30th. So once you go to the shopping cart page, once you have chosen your products in your shopping cart, you'll see the discount code text box. Just go ahead and click on that text box, insert the following code just above you, above where my finger is, August 20 off, all capital letters, click on apply, and you'll receive that discount of 20% off everything contained inside your cart. So make sure, firstly, that you guys are double checking, make sure you got that discount code applied. It is for one time per user, okay? So once you use it once, then you pretty much have used it. So make it count. Go ahead and check out etherix.co. You can also check out our website, our YouTube page, youtube.com/ethericstore. And of course, we are on Facebook and Instagram as well too. And of course, private sessions, 3-question private email sessions are available on newearthteachings.com. Sessions with Adronis, Akashic record readings, tarot readings, distance healing, and more. 3 questions by email can also be provided through Adronis. So if you have questions for Adronis and you just want to do an email session, you can do that as well too. So you can check that out at newearthteachings.com. And everything on this New Earth Teachings YouTube channel is backed up into our backup channel, Odyssey, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. You can also find the link in the video description. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. So again, hello everybody, thank you for joining me. We're getting a really good, impressive turnout here for the Friday show, so I'm happy to see that. And once I do the presentation with Adronis, then we're going to go into Q&A. After Q&A, we're going to do some distance healing as well too. So I would say just get your distance healing requests on standby. Distance healing can either be for yourself or for another person. And then at the end of the broadcast, we will do a group healing exercise together as well. All right. Just so you guys know, I'm not being sponsored by Under Armour. I get a lot of people asking me that question. Brad, you're always wearing these Under Armour shirts. Are you being sponsored by them? No. I just like Under Armour. It's nice, right? I'd have my etheric shirts, but I don't have that many etheric shirts. I do have to get some more. When I do wear them, they get dirty pretty quick. So, so when I don't have my etheric shirts on, I wear Under Armour, but I'm not sponsored by them. So just putting that rumor to rest. I just like Under Armour. That's it. Okay, so I will go ahead now and bring Adronis in, and he's going to be talking about the outlook of 2023. Let me just make sure I got my microphone volume turned up high there. So he's going to be talking about the outlook of 2023, the momentum ahead, maybe what to expect, certain insight for what we may see as we continue on forward through the next few months here. So we're basically at the halfway point now of 2023 and what may be ahead for us. So I will go ahead now and take a moment to connect with Adronis, and we will begin. Here we go. Always got to get yourself comfortable first. Very important. All right, here we go. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis we are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like to ask all of you at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We will speak on the idea, as it is termed, representing the outlook of your 2023 year. As you have discovered, it is no longer a secret that you are now aware that you are in good company pertaining to other civilizations that exist beyond your world. For it has been already shared through certain hearings and certain conferences that have been made in a large capacity, representing the presence of extraterrestrial life. Now, we are quite aware that many of you here tuning into this transmission were already quite in awareness relating to your star family, which means it's really not that big of a deal pertaining to many of you. In fact, if we were to talk to a great deal of you, not only those of you here who are hearing this transmission, but many others, saying, well, are you aware that other civilizations exist? We would basically tell you that a great majority of people on your planet would say yes. They already knew this. This was no longer a secret, really. This is why not so many people were, as it were, heavily surprised pertaining to these seminars, these conferences, these hearings that would take place, representing the nature of extraterrestrial presence. It was pretty much already known, and it has been known for quite some time, and this is actually thanks much more to your alternative media and your grassroots and yourselves. The majority of people upon this planet are already aware that they do indeed know of their off-world ancestors, their off-world family, their star family that is all around you. But it is not, again, just beyond your world. They are on your world. They are in your world. They are around your world. So it is not just the idea of saying, oh, well, just us human beings are here, and then our star families out there. No. They are walking among you. And this is very much what 2023 may start to convey a little bit more regarding the idea of the extraterrestrial presence, which means there may still be some more information. We cannot guarantee it will be mainstream, but again, more information in regards to extraterrestrials walking upon humanity, walking upon the earth, mingling together with the human race. So, as we have already shared, that in an official capacity, there would be mentions relating to the nature of extraterrestrial presence. Now, it's not going to stop there. There is going to be much more of a continuation pertaining to the discussion relating to extraterrestrials. We will also say that there will also be a continuation of genuine sightings throughout your skies. Not military, not terrestrial-based spacecraft, not satellites. There will be certain sightings taking place quite commonly in your major metropolises, around your major cities, here and there, just little peaks, little showings, as it were, to let you know that your star family is watching over you, that they will appear. They will perform something truly mesmerizing from your perspective, and then they will leave. They will appear. They will perform something very spectacular, and then they will leave. Whenever you have sightings of this nature, that is indicating a genuine sighting. Especially when you see one vessel that now becomes 2 vessels, 3 vessels, 5 vessels, 7 vessels, 9 vessels, 12 vessels all coming back into one again and then leaving. Your human race does not have that type of technology. So therefore, when you look at something of that nature, where you also are aware that when you are sharing thoughts with that particular craft, and that craft is being able to mimic what patterns you are sharing through thought, that is also giving you an indication of a genuine off-world star family sighting. When they respond to your thoughts, when you are able to see the one that again emerges as the many that comes back into the one again. This too represents a genuine sighting. You may just see simple craft flying to and fro up in the sky where they're not even noticing you. You're putting intentions out. They don't even notice you. You may just be looking at a satellite. You may just be looking at a terrestrial craft. But this again is the difference between the nature of a genuine sighting and one of your own technologies. So we will say that there will certainly be much more of an appearance relating to even your major metropolises, your major cities on your planet, where you may discover some of these brief sightings that are taking place. And they are letting you know, dearest humanity, we are with you. You're not alone. Yes, you've heard about us, but we want to introduce ourselves in some capacity to you. And so this is something that you can continue to look forward to in your 2023 year, particularly around the time of the end of the summer, coming into the early fall and even into the late fall as well too. You may start to see again much more of an abundance relating to these genuine sightings that we have talked about. Some may ask us, well, Adronis, have you ever shown yourself in some particular type of sighting? Not relating to a mass populace, but relating to a select few. We have shown ourselves to Brad, and we have shown ourselves in some capacity to some of you. We have projected ourselves in your room at times. We have projected ourselves through the sky at times. But again, this is much more for the individual. This is much more for the smaller groups. It is not meant to be shared en masse because our connection is a little bit more different in that way. Some may ask, well, Adronis, do you have a ship? No. But in that sense of what you would understand how we are able to manifest ourselves could be seen in some particular way as a conveyance. You see, we are working with our own energy body. We are working with our own vessel itself to function as the vessel, to share ourselves in some shape, way, or form with you. Now, also, it is very important for you to know that you can always call upon us. You can always say, Adronis, I would like to share myself with you, and we will be happy to be there, as long as you are able to align to our vibrational frequency. So, just like you hear Brad at the beginning of a transmission being able to share that particular mantra, Terra, Sol Star, S-O-L, S-T-A-R, Sirius, Adronis. Being able to reflect that is how you are assisting yourself in moving into our domain. Therefore, if you wish to have a connection with us, that is one particular way that you can do it. Another particular way is being able to see the blue shield with a golden tree inside. Very similar to what you see here on the body, on the arm of Brad. Relating to the blue shield with the golden tree, although it is somewhat of different coloration on his arm. But being able to see it in the way of a golden tree inside a blue shield is also a permission slip to enabling you to connect with us, to being able to share our domain together with your domain. So that is something that is available to you as well. What else will be taking place around your 2023? The beginning of your own new financial systems. Yes. Now, there will be, again, much more scandals. There will be, in that sense, many smear campaigns that will go towards these ideas. Because, again, this is very much the last thing that this dark regime would want, is the idea of trying to bring forward a new financial system that would make their old ways of a financial system obsolete. And there will be many smear campaigns that will follow pertaining to this idea, because many of the other countries throughout your planet, not of the United States, are basically looking to roll this out. This has been a plan that has been in the works for a great number of years. And it is now starting to reach a climax where, again, as Brad put it, that the red carpet is now being rolled out. And that there will start to be a beginning, a peak time, to where this new financial system will take place. Will it be immediate in regards to the delivery of its results? No. It will still take some time because it still needs to go through certain degrees of integration. But again, you have to understand that what you know as your blockchain technology, your own digital currencies, cryptocurrencies in that sense, really is the currency of the future. And we have talked about this extensively. That is not to say that you cannot possess certain forms of metals, certain types of ores, to which would represent the nature of exchange. Because as we have always stated, this relates to the opening up of financial systems, and not the idea of just a financial system. So therefore, you will have a broad range of capability of working together with whatever you wish, whether it be through precious ores, whether it be through other forms of resources, whether it be through the reliance of your own digital currencies. It will be available to you. There are those in that sense who are putting doom and gloom, a great deal of fear around these situations. Well, this is always what happens. Whenever something is new upon your planet, many of you fear the worst. When you looked at the idea of the birth of your own internet, many of you feared the worst. The idea of using websites, the idea of having videos online, the idea of having all of these capabilities through an online platform scared a great deal of you. The idea of being able to have your own bank card and now being able to swipe or tap it, again, caused a great deal of fear. Wherever there is a new innovation, a new idea, humanity will panic at first. Because the majority of humans upon your planet fear change. But as time now, it is indeed time for a new shift to occur, that you are moving yourself into a new alignment. Is this going to be your permanent solution relating to finances? No. But it's something that is moving into a new direction. It's representing the signification of the energies on the planet right now that are bringing about this new era, as it represents currency, as it represents life. You are now starting to move much more into an air element that represents this new era that is unfolding. And through this air element, you would think of it as being as light as a thought. Things are just going to start becoming lighter. Things are going to start representing the idea of more of a virtual and digital world. Even though you are still part of the physical world, everything that you are utilizing in regards to the natures of conveniences will start to move much more deeper into the digital and virtual and artificial intelligence platforms. You are going to see this much more apparently throughout 2023, coming into 2024, and in the many years ahead within this decade and the next. You are going to see a great more deal of innovations pertaining to artificial intelligence. You are actually going to start seeing unmanned aircraft. We cannot guarantee if it will be this year or perhaps into next year, but being able to see aircraft that will fly itself, where the idea of pilots will actually start to be reduced. They are actually going to start creating certain forms of aircraft, other forms of conveyances, that are going to be much more autonomous in regards to its usage. So representing the idea of cars, vehicles, yes, trains, planes, etc. Many of these are now going to start moving much more into an automation industry. The idea of transportation is now going to start moving much more into autonomous ideas. Moving much more into the idea of self-driving cars, self-driving vehicles, self-driving aviation vehicles, self-piloting planes. So much of these particular forms of transportation is going to be more so relied upon through the nature of computerized forms, working in autonomous degrees. It's not to say that many of you still can't drive cars. You certainly can. It's not to say that many of you still can't pilot planes. For those of you who are pilots, you certainly can. But the innovation is now starting to move much more into the nature of autonomous operation, rather than the idea of human pilots, or the idea of human conductors, or anything of that nature. It's going to be much more autonomous. Not exactly just throughout this year, but within the years ahead, you're going to see this stretching out a lot further. You are also going to notice quite a boom relating to space travel publicly. There are going to be new corporations, companies, industries that are going to be coming together that are going to focus a great deal more in being able to develop technology that will enable the public to space travel. Now, basically what that represents is quite commonly orbital views, orbital launches, orbital flight plans, so that you are able to see above your world. And it will not really last that long. But what is also going to happen is many of these educational institutions are going to start developing the ideas for orbital platforms. As we have talked about, we are not just talking about your International Space Station. We are talking about actual orbital stations being developed. Not this year. This could be a little bit more of a stretch in the years to come. But again, there will be discussions a lot more regarding this year, and therefore blueprints, plans, developments of new companies, developments of new institutions and new educational centers that are going to start working with new innovations of technology that may introduce anti-gravitational vehicles, quite commonly with what you would know as your TR-3Bs, and being able to utilize these particular types of craft in regards to a simplistic conveyance that will in time be introduced to the public. So you may have the idea of what you would know as triangular craft, or even saucer-like craft, or again much more aerodynamic and sleek craft that are able to do the same thing. Perform what you would know as anti-gravitic propulsion, and being able to transport a great deal of people from one side of the world to the other very, very quickly. And being able to develop that innovation a much more further so that you in that sense are having orbital views upon your planet. And being able to utilize these particular conveyances to a larger degree to begin the development of orbital cities, orbital institutions, orbital education centers, orbital resource plants that will be in the orbit of your own planet. And so this is exactly what is looking to take hold here, not just this year. Again, it's basically, as you would say, the drawing board stage that will take place here in 2023 and throughout the years to come, starting to develop those particular types of technologies so that you are now able to visit particular centers that exist in orbit of your own Earth. So those will be coming as well too. We would estimate more around the idea of construction and practicality in regards to this idea, moving more into your 2030s. As you continue to move into 2023, you are going to see again a great deal of revealing, a great deal of exposure, a great deal of reset taking place here. The idea of your own financial system moving into a state of reset. The idea of your political system moving into a state of reset. And yes, this relates to the idea of empty buildings. There is also talk in regards to the rush and the urge pertaining to ATMs, about retrieving cash from ATMs. It's because of the scarcity of the new financial system that this is happening. People will start getting scared, thinking that they won't have cash anymore, and they are going to line up at the ATMs, wanting their cash. And this becomes a frantic wave at first, but then starts to settle down because, again, they are getting the wrong impression here of thinking that they are going to be cashless, where in fact cash will still play a part in the idea of your financial system for a little bit longer. But in that sense, yes, it is all part of a transition that is leading ahead that will, in that sense, phase out much of the physical currency, although physical currency, once it has been brought forward by somebody, can still be used as a transferable amount pertaining to the new exchanges that will come together through the new financial systems that are looking to debut. So this is exactly what is happening. There will be announcements pertaining to digital currencies. People will get, in that sense, the wrong ideas in their head, and they will start to run to ATMs and start withdrawing as much cash as they can, because they feel like their cash is going to go kaput. They feel like their physical resources are going to go kaput. But that's not what's happening. But again, panic will come together in that way, and many people will be lining up at the ATMs to try and get cash, particularly those who favor cash much more than the digital currency. And we understand this. This is all part of the changeability that's taking place. This is all part of the transformation that is taking place. Well, Adronis, what about the politicians and the empty buildings? Well, this is all in relation to the idea of the further stretch of your own transitional government, because there are going to be exposures. There's going to be exposures to such a large level that are going to be pointing at many of your politicians, and there's basically going to be a rounding up. And through that rounding up, everything pertaining to Congress, everything pertaining to legislature, anything pertaining to government buildings, government meetings, are basically being put on hold. And there will be investigations taking place with a great deal of scandals that are going to be exposed further. And we estimate this will be happening much more closer to the time of 2024 rather than the idea of 2023. It may happen very much close to the end of this year, but we are feeling much more around the time of 2024 to where this will take place, to where we will say, and this is just the sharing right now, it is very likely that your own Donald Trump will be president once again. So all we're doing right now is giving you a little bit of inertia, a little bit of momentum right now. It is very highly likely, not definite, but very highly likely, as the tides are being shown right now, that your Donald Trump will be the president of the United States once again. And again, as he comes through, this is actually what's generating this particular response relating to, shall we say, emptying the government buildings and commencing a great deal of investigations, and a lot of it has to do with the scandals pertaining to his previous election. And there will be, in that sense, a wave that will come together where throughout Canada, where throughout the United States, where throughout Europe, where throughout many different countries, there will be this wave coming in, where there will be a halt pertaining to political activity, because there are going to be worldwide investigations brewing. Many politicians are going to be investigated. Many politicians are going to be incarcerated. And there is going to be a transitional time where there will be new political parties, new political representatives that will therefore occupy many of these political buildings. So this is exactly what is taking place. It is the end of these particular scandals when it comes to much of your political and financial arenas. Many may still feel that the dark regime still has a great deal of power, and say so, representing these particular industries. And we would say that is incorrect. as Brad has previously told many of you, that this is very much like a chess game. This is very much like a bait and switch. That they are simply waiting for the right moment at the right time to make a false move. And then they zero in to therefore take care of a very large coup d'etat that is on its way. We would say that this is not just through the American military, this is not just through the Canadian military, this is through a worldwide military operation, with many countries participating together. That there will be again this particular checkmate move. And that is what's leading into the complete and total dismantling of everything that represents a former regime, a dark regime, altogether. This is what we can share at this time pertaining to the outlook of your 2023 year, moving into the early phases of 2024. We want to thank you very much for this interaction. We will now pause at this time and enable a question and answer period to commence. One moment, please, as we return to the conduit. Okay, very good. So everybody, if you do have some questions, either for myself or for Adronis, you can feel free to put that in the chat. If you do have a donation, you can feel free to leave the donation in the chat, and you will get first priority pertaining to your question. And I will go ahead now and take a look at the chat and see what we got here. Okay, I'm just starting off at the top and just kind of moving my way down. Okay, so this is from Horace999. Hi Brad, could you please ask Adronis to comment on the economic troubles that China is facing right now? Liquidity crunch and debt issues, and when would the situation stabilize there? Okay, one moment. We thank you very much, Horace999, for your question. You have to understand that your country of China has been racked with debt for a great deal of time, and that they also need to be a part of, shall we say, this new financial system that is leading to the erasure of much debt. In order for that to happen, again, they must, shall we say, put aside everything pertaining to the reliance of an old system. China is not quite there yet to do that. Now, it will not take them long before they decide to make this large decision, because there are large capacities pertaining to presidential leadership, or shall we say executive leadership in China, that are willing to move much more into the new financial system that will occur. There are some holdouts, but we do not feel it will take too long for those holdouts to be expunged, and enabling them in that sense to start over. This is basically giving many countries all over the planet an opportunity to start over, the erasure of debt. But in order for that to happen, the dependency upon the old financial system needs to be completely expunged. If it is not, this is what leads to holdouts of certain nations. So the idea of their own debt that has been created in that sense is all part of the properties of an old system. As long as they continue to hold on to that old system, they will have problems. They will have troubles, and basically would say there really is no way out of that. You cannot have any particular type of sanctity relating to a country that is completely drowning in debt through the nature of a flawed old financial system. You even have to look at your own United States of America, how deeply in debt they are. Something that they can never get out of, for as long as they rely on an old financial system that is built on debt. Any particular financial system or Babylonian money magic system that relies upon debt to fuel itself is a lost cause. It's a sinking ship. And the best thing you can do with those particular forms of industries is buy time. But again, what will happen is that will overtake you. It's again like trying to put out a fire by burning down more places. It's not going to happen. This fire is going to spread, and it's going to consume everything. You cannot put out a fire by lighting another fire. And that is the stupidity relating to the nature of an old indebted financial system that is built to service the few and to therefore bring havoc to the many. So therefore, China needs to make up its mind. Not just that, many countries need to make up their mind. Are they going to stay with an old enslavement, debt-based financial system, and all of you staying with an enslaved, debt-based old system, because that's exactly what it is. You have never achieved financial freedom with a system that is built on debt. How can you do that? You can't. You're going to owe somebody money. You're going to own an industry money, an institution money, an academy money. Some particular bill collector is going to want your money. The government is going to want your money. All of that is leading into nothing but the creation of debt. No country will ever be freed of their debts for as long as they are subscribed into the old dinosaur-based financial system. It's too complicated. It is too favored to the idea of the few that are receiving all of the benefits from it, to where the rest are in havoc. And it has no particular qualities representing your own way to express yourself divinely. Therefore, such a money magic system needs to fall. And as long as any particular country subscribes to that idea, they will sink. And this has been happening for quite some time. The idea of countries going bankrupt. The idea of countries basically having to liquefy their assets. It's all leading into a path of self-destruction for as long as you're subscribed to that Babylonian magic money system. There's no benefit that comes out of it. Why stay in it? And this again is why a new financial systems, is looking to roll out. Because it is going to lead into a precursor representing the end of debt-based systems. It is going to reform the nature of taxes in all forms. Not right away, but in time. It is going to lead to the idea of the dissolving of taxation, the dissolving of debt. That's what these new financial systems represent. The idea of a debt-based system needs to go. It's not part of the new era that you're entering. The idea of debt from your own great-grandchildren's perspective won't even be heard of. Debt, what's that? You see, that's where you're going for your future generations. They will not experience anything pertaining to debt. They will not experience anything pertaining to poverty. They will not experience anything pertaining to war. They will not experience anything pertaining to feeling like there is deceit between fellow human beings that are trying to stab each other in the back for the means of greed. That will be unheard of moving into your next 2 generations. Do you see now where this is going? This is putting an end to a very old, flawed, manipulated, and cruel-based financial system. Many of you who think that you are making millions off it are delusional because you have debts to pay at the same time. You are nothing but one who is shackled in the idea of an indebted money magic financial system that is complete and total rubbish. It is nothing but wearing shackles when you participate in working with an old regime-based financial system that will only ever benefit its administrators, its creators, its moderators that are moderating all of these things. The few get wealthy and the rest suffer. Is that really what you want to stay with as you move into the generations ahead? Is that what you want to give your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren? We don't think so. Let it die. And let something new come together that is free of debt slavery. Monetary system will not always be what you are deciding to work with. It is going to evolve. But this is a transitional cycle of moving it into something that is, as we would say, the right way forward. Because it will move from monetary, it will move into trade and barter, and it will move into contributionism. It will move in that direction. Because the ones that you feel are still trying to control this are not going to be in control. This is exactly why you're going to have empty government buildings. This is exactly why you're going to have transitional leadership. Anything that favors the old regime of living is not going to last. It is going to fall apart. It is like a sinking Titanic. That is not where your people are going. 2020s, yes, it's going to be a little bit challenging. You're going to be trudging through the dirt. You start moving into the 2030s, you're now starting to move much more deeper into the light. You're now starting to see a whole new transition taking place, where it is not about a Babylonian money magic system. It is not about corruption. It is not about that heavy, heavy, heavy greed. All of that is now going to start lifting itself up, and therefore being looked at by many eyes and then being absorbed back into the ether. Where you are going is going to lead into a greater degree of prosperity. You cannot see it right now, but we certainly can. It is going to lead much more into a prosperous time, but because it's so new, because it represents a significator of great change, many of you are afraid and are predicting doom and gloom because of this great change. So, regardless if it is China or any other particular country that participates in an old system, it will only lead to disaster. When there is the idea of reforming that idea and coming into the new systems that are looking to launch, that are all about being debt-free, that's going to lead into a new promise for many different countries. All right? We thank you for your question. All right, great. Thank you, Horace, for your question. Okay. Okay, just going down the list here. Okay. Jan just asked a question about the Etherics Academy. Is the class only on Saturday? Also, will there be videos of this if we can't make some of the classes? So I will be discussing this in the videos that I'll be making for the Etherics Academy that I'll be putting up on the YouTube channel here in the next day or two. But yes, basically every class is on Saturday, right? It's 3 hours long. And if you can't make the class, the classes will be recorded, okay? So whether you can make it or whether you can't make it doesn't really matter. It's good if you can make it. That way you can interact with me live. But if you can't, all of the recordings are part of the curriculum of the first module, right? And at the end of the month, we basically have a quiz, right? We have a multiple choice quiz, and you need to pass it. If you don't pass it, you stay with the first module until you pass the quiz. Once you pass the quiz, then you graduate onto the second module. That's how it works, okay? So whether you're live in attendance with me or whether you are watching on a recording, either way is fine, okay? But you'll also have the opportunity to work together with the Etherics coaches, okay? A lot of my students that are now graduated as coaches are going to be communicating with you through Telegram, okay? There will be a Telegram group that will be put up, and you'll be able to access this Telegram group together with the coaches. And they too will be holding certain classes weekly as well too. That is kind of like a review of what the classes will be about that I'll be hosting on Saturdays, okay? So you'll have other classes that will also be accessible if you can't make the Saturdays. But nonetheless, there will be recordings and you'll be able to check that out, okay? But again, this will be talked about in the videos to come. All right. Okay. So I'm just taking a moment here, guys. I'm just looking at the comment or the questions here. Okay, I think we'll take a question here from Matthias. Matthias says, Adronis, who was Zoroaster? And what is the connection between Zoroastrianism and the Anunnaki? Okay, 1 moment. We thank you very much for your question. That which is termed the nature of Zoroaster would be what you would know as a particular type of avatar. Now, what we mean by that is that they are born into this world with a greater degree of knowledge that represents much more of the path of righteousness. When you are looking at the nature of the Anunnaki, okay, many people get confused by this particular term. They are basically looking at it in the idea of a deity. And the nature of the Anunnaki, in that sense, is not really pertaining to the idea of a deity, but as it were, messengers. Messengers of deities, yes. Because there have been what you would know as the original Anunnaki, that go back many, 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 many thousands of years further before what is shared in the Sumerian tablets. And then you have the Anunnaki that are shared in the Sumerian tablets, but this represents much more of contrived nature than actuality. The nature of Nibiru, for example, is quite distorted. The nature in regards to how the Anunnaki, in that sense, conduct themselves is quite distorted. As we have talked about in the past, the Anunnaki relates to a group, not a single entity in that way. It represents, again, messengers of glad tidings. So when you are looking at the nature of Zoroastrianism, and when you're looking at the nature of the Anunnaki, they both share one thing in common. They are messengers for the divine. They are messengers of glad tidings, because they both shared similarity pertaining to messages. But again, there is a great deal of distortion in relating to what the Anunnaki, in that sense, have been impressed upon your people as. And many of you will think, oh, well, they're just from heaven to earth come. Well, that's very broad, but that's not what Anunnaki means. Anunnaki is the name of a messenger, or the name of a legion pertaining to messengers. Ones who are helping to regale the nature of humanity back into their prime roots. That's the nature of Anunnaki. Anunnaki is helping you, dear humans, return back into your godly roots. Zoroastrianism is also in that nature, yes, attempting to bring you back into your godly roots. That's the similarity that we can share. There's a lot more, but we want you to discover a lot of these things for yourself, not having to rely upon another's perspective to giving you the idea of what is, but just getting these tidbits, these breadcrumbs, to helping you to investigate further pertaining to Zoroaster and the nature of the true form of Anunnaki. All right? We thank you very much. Okay. Very good. Thank you very much, Matthias, for your question. Okay. Okay, well, Pete, you have an interesting question here. Why do people practice martial arts? Is it something out of frustration or fear? Does it have to be frustration? Does it have to be fear? If you looked at an ancient Tai Chi master, do you believe that he got involved with martial arts because he was afraid? Right? If I'm also looking at a different context, if I'm looking at an artist who's painting a beautiful picture, are they painting that picture because they're afraid or frustrated? Okay. Some may be, but again, you're trying to limit the idea of expression in regards to what martial arts is. You're looking at a platform. Okay. A platform is like a rainbow spectrum. You have many different bands in regards to the nature of its expression. Martial arts is a platform, and there is a band relating to many facets of how it can be expressed. Some people will want to defend themselves. Some people will want to use martial arts. But what I would say is that a person who really just wants to defend themselves or get in shape with martial arts is really just seeing much more of the sports side of the martial arts. Right? It's really when you start looking at the spiritual side of the martial arts that you truly understand the martial arts. Because what you're actually doing is you're going beyond the rainbow band and you're coming into the original white band before it entered the prism. Okay? When you're looking at the true nature of martial arts, when you are able to look at it from the nature of spirit, you will truly understand it. When you are able to look at artistry in any shape, way, or form on the spiritual nature of it, you will truly understand it. Okay? And that's really just coming back together with all forms of art, of expression, of dance, right? Of singing, of music, okay? Martial arts, energy work, right? Qigong, Tai Chi, okay? Yoga. When you understand the spiritual nature, you are looking at this through the spiritual eyes, you will truly understand its nature. And you will realize it has nothing to do with fear, has nothing to do with frustration, has nothing to do with greed, has nothing to do with an obsessive ego, has everything to do with the divine expression of the self. It was Bruce Lee who said, ultimately, martial arts means honestly expressing yourself. He is the only martial artist in the entire world who actually gets martial arts on a spiritual level that was shared publicly. Okay? That is exactly what it's about. I used to be part of martial arts too when I was younger, and I was also just appreciating a lot more of its spiritual nature to it. Even before I was even into spirituality, I still really liked the idea of the meditative quality of martial arts. Not the idea of, oh, I need to be the best and I need to be the strongest and, oh, I'm afraid I don't want anybody to beat me up. And those become, that's not on that level in regards to looking at this from the spiritual eye. Right? When you look at this from the spiritual eye and you realize ultimately all martial arts is to honestly express yourself. You got it. Right? And it's not even just the martial arts. It is all arts in general. Are all ultimately the nature of expressing yourself. And I'm talking to you guys about doing inner work, about surrendering to yourself. That is ultimately expressing yourself. Right? It all comes down into the nature of genuinely, authentically, uniquely being yourself to express yourself. And that comes from a free being. Very important to remember. All right? Thank you for your question. This is a donation from Terry. Thank you very much. Just ran into someone I've known for over 30 years. There is a connection there. I'm 63, don't want to pursue something if it's not real. Can I have some advice? Okay, well, Terry, I'm not here to do personal readings for you guys, just so you know. But since you gave me a donation, okay. The whole idea, Terry, is that you're shooting down this idea before it even starts. Okay? You don't want to pursue something, so nothing's going to be pursued. You are shooting down an opportunity before an opportunity can even show its face to you. You are too much in the restriction of yourself of thinking this is exactly what my ego is comfortable with, so I won't deviate from my ego. You're afraid to step out of your own cage. And as long as you're afraid to step out of your own cage, you are going to lead with more and more disappointment for as long as that cage is erected by your thoughts and your beliefs and your mannerisms and your attitude. Right? When you look at someone who, again, you've known for over 30 years and you're feeling a connection, before even anything has the opportunity to grow to see much more about the clarity of what it can be, you shoot it down. Okay? And this is what I tell quite a few other people. Okay? You're not the only one. Is that you need to be aware of shooting things down before you even have a chance to look at them thoroughly. Right? You all just basically sit inside this cage and say, no, I can't do that. This is not what I want. This is not what I want to pursue. I don't want to do that. Well, then what is the point? Right? Where's your growth pertaining to that endeavor, pertaining to that situation? Do you enjoy sitting in your cage, shooting everything down when an opportunity comes? It's exactly why you stay confined and hurt and suffering. Because you don't let yourself step out of your cage. So, Terry, I would suggest you reevaluate how you think. And you reevaluate in regards to how you behave. Because you are shooting down all of these things when an opportunity tries to show itself. Because it may not be what you think it is. It could be even something better. But you're not going to know that if you shoot it down right away with the ego. Surrender. Come to center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let it all go. Be calm. be still, be silent, and just be. And therefore, when you reflect on that particular endeavor that came to you, welcome it into your life with open arms and liquefy the cage bars so that you are now just within an expansive space rather than a cage that you've erected with your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own mentalities, and your own conditioning. All right? That's what I can share with you. All right? Thank you, Terry. All right, let's move on. Okay, I got a donation here from Brad Porter. Thank you very much. Two of them, actually. Brad Porter, yeah, okay. Brad says, my grandma Dorothy just had hip surgery. She is having a really hard time healing and being able to walk. Could you help her? We'll get to that when we start doing healing, okay? We're going to be doing healing here in about 15 or 20 minutes or so, okay? So, Brad, I'll just hold on to your question there. Nice to meet another Brad, of course. And I will get to your question here shortly, okay, when we start doing some healing. So healing is not yet, guys. Just like I said, just get it on standby. I'll let you know when we get into healing. We're still just working with Q&A right now, okay? All right. So I'm getting a couple people that are already asking for healing. So, guys, we're not in healing yet, so hold on, all right? Okay. I'm just going down the list here to see if there are other questions. Okay, Emma, I heard that you gave a donation, but I did not see it. Okay, so I'm not able to see your donation here through the chat. So, but I did get your question. Okay, so Emma, I will work to come back to you. If I don't come back to you, Emma, just drop me an email later on, and I can do healing on your request later on, if by chance I don't reach you during the broadcast today, okay? Okay, let's go down a bit further. Okay, guys, a lot of you are asking healing requests. Guys, we're not at healing requests yet. We're still trying to do basic Q&A here. So we'll get to that, okay? Marcelo asks, would you tell us something about teaching of Summit Lighthouse? I've never heard of Summit Lighthouse, so I have no idea what that is. You'd have to tell me more about that. But Summit Lighthouse, I have no idea who they are. So I can't really talk about what I don't know. Okay. Okay, I think we'll end with this couple last questions here. Then we'll go into healing. Leslie Ann Faith firstly asks us, so 2030 will not be the completion of the new order that's envisioned by the dark side. Guys, the dark side was never meant to be a long-term resident of the planet. Okay? This is something that a lot of people understand. You have to understand that your shadow self, which is really what the dark regime represents, okay? It is the ego of humanity. It is the ego of the earth. It's a shadow that's casted by an obstruction, right? That's its entire purpose. Humanity will never, ever, for the long run, be dominated, okay? This is all part and parcel of our upbringing, and it always occurs through the nature of cycles, quite commonly what we refer to as the yugas, okay? And there will come a particular point where that benchmark of great change will take place. And this is certainly has been the entire nature of the new millennium, right? Since the 2000s. A lot of that benchmark change pertaining to light coming upon the planet has been taking place, right? This is all part of a greater transformation. The idea of what many people consider to be the Illuminati, New World Order, any other particular label you want to put on there, it was never about a new world order, but a new world, okay? This is all part and parcel of having these particular types of groups being shown to you where the ether would start to lower more and more and the veils would get thinner and thinner so that you would no longer see a clandestine set of groups, but you would now start to see everything that they truly represent. You are seeing their corruption. You are seeing their cruelty. You are seeing their manipulation. You see how they have had a hold on all of these things. This, from what you are witnessing, is the last thing they would ever want. Okay? Their plans are coming into the light. Everything in regards to their agendas are coming into the light. People are now starting to research them exponentially. And if you were to talk about the NWO 20, 30 years ago, people were thinking that you were insane, right? You're crazy, you belong in a nut house, right? Got to get a straight jacket on you with rubber wallpaper, right? Lock you in a room. It's exactly how the action was, the attitude was, going back a couple of decades. What is it now? No, people are like, oh, I agree, because I've been looking into this too, right? Do you see how everything's coming into the light now? Guys, you got to start seeing the signposts, okay? The signposts are telling you, I need to look back a couple of decades to see how people were behaving when we were talking about this particular topic, right? It was like screaming out Satan in a church. You could never do that. People would be horrified. But now you're talking about it. People are now sharing that. They're now starting to understand. They're getting it. They're looking into these things. Oh yeah, they're doing this and they're doing that. But hey, we're going to succeed. We're going to prosper. We're going to move forward. Okay? This is indicating that the light is shining brightly, that the ether is dropping, that the veils are thinning. And it will thin to the particular degree where all people are now moving together for a common cause, to eliminating everything representing the threats of a dark regime. Okay? That's where it's going. Humanity was never meant to be permanently enslaved. Okay? It was a temporary thing. Have we been enslaved? We certainly have. But it is a temporary thing that we needed to go through to know exactly what the darkness is, so that we can therefore transition past darkness and come into the light, which is what we're starting to do now. Okay? So this is all part of an inner self experience. This is all part of inner self growth. This is a coming of age experience for humanity, because humanity was given too much power too soon. Going back into the ancient times, particularly around Atlantis, we were given way too much power. We were spoiled rotten by many different factors, right? Not in regards to our neighbors, right, from other countries, extraterrestrials, inner earth beings, extra dimensionals, okay, angels. It all came to humanity so quickly. We were becoming spoiled brats. And basically that is what led to corruption, and that is what led to a catastrophic earth shift that led to the destruction of Atlantis, okay? And from that point forward, humanity needed to go through its tough times, because it received too much power too quickly, and it needs to see the fruits of what happens when you crave that power too much, too quickly, and what it turns you into. These particular people, part of these old regimes, you are seeing exactly what it turned them into, right? They were so obsessed with physical greed, physical materialism, physical power, physical authority, physical control. Look what it did to them, right? They're basically become a bunch of frantic devil worshippers. That's the idea. So that cannot on itself stand. You cannot have something that is made out of decay and corruption expect to erect itself into a permanent model. It won't. It will rot. It will decay. It will fall apart. What they've been trying to do is buy their time, okay? Because now in this particular age, where there is an age of information, we are able to look at these things much more thoroughly and see exactly how this entire old regime is being taken apart. And it is being taken apart, right? But they will make a lot of noise. They will make a great deal of racket thinking that they still are in charge. But when you silence their voice, you realize they're not, okay? They flut around and they spew all this stuff in regards to how they're going to control everybody and how they're going to control the world and how they control everything, etc., etc. They like to make a lot of noise, okay? But when you see past their noise, what do you see? You see just a bunch of frightened, scared little children, right? And that's all they are. And when you learn to see past that, you see how everything just starts to cave in, everything starts to cascade, and because the ether is thinning, it is dropping, you're going to see them exactly for who they are, and the ability to surpass them and move past everything representing their agendas is as simple as it is to breathe. okay? And it really just comes down to making a thought and walking with that thought. That I stand for truth, that I stand for the light, that I stand for harmony, that I stand with my brothers and my sisters, and I'm about love, and I'm about compassion, right? I'm letting my true heart shine. And that is how you are going to see them moving away. Because them, as I say them, is really just the shadow. It's your own shadow that you're looking at. But now you move out of the obstruction that's causing the shadow, and all that remains is the light. Just move out of the obstruction that has cast the shadow and come directly into the light so that no obstruction remains. All right? So this is not about 2030, right? Well, the guys, they talked about Agenda 21. By 2021, they were supposed to have all this stuff done. Did they? No. Okay? Because they put a new date, do you think that that's what's going to do? There's a difference between what is planned and what is done. Okay? They will not fulfill their plans. Especially not this year. Jeez. Their entire financial system is about to collapse. Okay? What are they going to do then? Nothing. They will basically starve because they will not have any resources at their disposal, because it's going to be a brand new system that they will not be able to manipulate. Right? That's the good news about all of this. This is what's going to appear transitionally. All right? So just some food for thought there for you. Okay, this one here is from Eve Mills. We're going to take this last question, and we're going to go into healing after Eve's question, okay? Eve says, "Hi, Brad and Adronis. Could you please talk about Jesus' descendants, whether they were any then, and are there any now? If so, is their existence much guards, and will they play a role in the years to come?" Okay, we've got a couple questions here. So I'll do my best to kind of absorb all of that, and Adronis can come through and share this information. All right, one moment. We thank you very much, Eve, for your question relating to the nature of Jesus. Now, we're going to talk about Jesus personally and not his siblings. All right, Jesus had siblings. Jesus had younger brothers and younger sisters. All right, but we're not talking about them because we're just talking about the Christ. Jesus had no partner. Jesus had no children. Now, we understand that there are people on your planet that are saying, oh no, him and Mary Magdalene married and they had children. And it was believed that Mary Magdalene went off into France and started to raise these children from her beloved. No. That would be incorrect. Now, even in the Bible, in certain Gospels, it does speak about the nature, about how Mary Magdalene was the companion of the Savior. But again, this is also misunderstood. You have to understand that Jesus, together with Mary Magdalene, had known each other since they were little children. And that they were basically coming together and they were raised in similarity. In fact, Mary Magdalene was actually able to travel together with Jesus when he was going with his uncle, Joseph of Arimathea, to different countries as he started to become older. Two others accompanied Jesus, Mary Magdalene and John the Baptist. But they would go their own ways, and they would learn based upon their own life path. And they would therefore congregate at a later time. Jesus would certainly see much more of Mary Magdalene as his spiritual sister, as someone in that sense he cared a great deal for because he knows her. And it's not just the idea of physical knowing, it is the idea that they knew each other spiritually, and that they knew each other to the level that it did not relate into the idea of physical relationship, physical sexuality, physical reproduction. This was a spiritual relationship, and that is why he referred to Mary as his companion, because they were together in soul, they were together in spirit, and that they were completely in love with each other, but it did not relate to the nature of physical matrimony. It did not relate to the nature of, therefore, getting Mary pregnant and having descendants from Jesus, because that did not happen. You could even talk to Jesus himself, and he will state that Mary and himself bore no children. So there are no descendants on a physical level pertaining to progeny representing Jesus the Christ. Again, as we have stated, everything that we share is our perspective, our point of view. So therefore, this is the idea. We know that there have been movies, television shows, documentaries talking about the possibility that Jesus was married and that he had children. These would be inaccurate because they represent inaccuracy in regards to interpretation. The idea of Mary and the idea of Jesus coming together was a very sacred spiritual bond. But there is nothing in regards to any form of them having children, nor of them being married in the physical. Married in the spiritual, in a way, yes, but certainly not in the nature of that. They were not, as you would term, as sweethearts. All right? So therefore, descendants would come in a different way. Descendants would come into the idea of spiritual descendants who followed the nature of the Christ. And those are the children that we can say, yes, they are here. The ones who abide within the Christ. The ones who truly understand the messages that this great Master Jesus was attempting to convey. Those are his children. You see? It was not for him to come here and to start a family. That was not his point. That was not his purpose. His purpose was to liberate his own people. His purpose was to demonstrate immortality. Can't do that by being a family man. You need to put God first, and that is exactly what he did. To demonstrate immortality, to therefore raise up 3 days after, and know that through that transition came immortality. The deathless one, to which Jesus the Christ also represents. Understanding the deathless state, where you are the embodiment of the Christ, the embodiment of infinite intelligence, the embodiment of God's light, the condensing of the mightiness, the infinite intelligence of the Christhood, to which Jesus himself bore and represented. What he gave birth to was the Christ. Not children, not a marriage, but the Christ was indeed what he bore, what he gave birth to. All right? Thank you very much for your question. Okay, very good. So thank you very much, Eve, for your question. We have one donation here from Big DAG. Thank you very much for that. I didn't get a question with that, but I appreciate the donation. Okay, guys, we're now going to go ahead and move into healing. So I'm just going to go back up to Brad's comment here, where he placed a donation for a healing request. Okay, so here's Brad Porter. So Brad, you were mentioning that your grandma Dorothy just had hip surgery. She is having a really hard time healing and being able to walk. Could you please help to heal her? Okay. So remember, guys, I don't do the healing. Okay, I'm just the vessel. It is Spirit that does all the work. So we have to remember that. One of the things, important things, for a healer to know is that they haven't healed anybody. Okay, it is the force, it is the Spirit that flows through them that does all the healing, and they are simply the vessel, the wellspring that enables this reservoir of water to come through to deliver the healing effect through them as a vessel. Okay, so Spirit through me is doing the work. Right, that's something very important to remember for all healers. All right. So your grandma Dorothy, hip surgery, okay, having a hard time walking. All right, so I will go ahead and connect with your grandmother Dorothy. So Brad, if you want to do some some healing in the background, you can. Okay. One of the things I recommend is just being able to put your hands up like this and being able to perform transmission posture. This is exactly what I talk about during the prana transmission technique. Okay, you're just putting your hands up like this, feeling your heart opening up. Just breathe into it, breathe it out. Feel your heart opening up, feel all that light coming out through the heart, running through the hands, and radiating through the palms. Okay, and again, you're stepping into the vibration of the person that you want to do healing work with. Okay, we're not just seeing a physical body, we are not just seeing a thought form within our mind, we are tuning into the vibration, the presence of that person. Okay, and that's what we're tuning into. Okay, so that's what I'm going to tune into now through your grandma Dorothy, and I'll just be requesting her presence here. Okay, so I can feel the vibration of her coming into me, and that is exactly what I'll be working with together. And I have what's known as a universal pendulum. You'll know more about what this is when you take the Etherics Academy. Okay, so I will go ahead now and take a moment and work with your grandmother. Here we go. God is making her better. God is making her better. God is making her better. Namaskar. Okay. So Brad, work has been done for Dorothy. So there was definitely a lot of stagnant energies, a lot of tension, a lot of turbulent energies that were basically focused around not just her hips, but her entire back, her legs as well too. A lot of her skeletal system was completely in agony, right? So basically there's been a lot of wear and tear upon her body over the years, right? So there's been a lot of posture misalignments, but a lot of this has had to do with a great deal of fear, a great deal of stress, a great deal of tension pertaining to her life altogether, all right? Basically being impacted more and more quite commonly with a lot of family affairs, financial affairs, and so forth. And that takes a really big toll on our body. That creates atrophy over time, okay? So basically went in there, helped to work with releasing a lot of that energy built up in her hips, in her spine, in her entire skeletal system, okay? Through her organs, her glands, all of that, okay? Also working with her energy systems, helping to clear that. She just needed a very major flush, okay? And I also put the source center vibration directly into the entire infrastructure of her body. So again, this will start to make much more of a impact with her between now and the next several days. Okay, if you ever want to contact me and let me know how she's doing, you can just go to newearthteachings.com. You can go to the contact page, and you can leave me an email there too, should you wish to. All right. Thank you very much, and blessings to you both. All right. Let's go down here the list a bit more. I think I had another paid request. I'm just going down to check. Okay. Actually, I didn't. Okay, I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the normal chat now and just see what other healing requests there are. So Jackie here has a question. Jackie says, I would like to request healing for the injuries sustained in my body, specifically my neck, back, wrists, ankles, and knees. Also for my mom's brain. Okay, so Jackie, I can just work on one person right now, okay? I'm just going to work on you because you're going to be the focus. Now, if you do want to do another session with me, where you do want to have your mother worked on, you can contact me through newearthteachings.com. You can either book a 3-question email session, or you can book a private session with me, and we can certainly work on others within your family, okay? But Jackie, because you have quite a bit of injuries, I'd like to work on you, okay? Because you have a lot of sustainment there. So, Jackie, all I want you to do right now, you don't have to do anything, right? In the old days, I would tell you to expand it. We don't even have to do that, okay? All I'm doing, Jackie, is I just want you just to breathe in and breathe out as I tune into your frequency, okay? Other than that, just follow your breath. There's nothing else that you need to do, all right? So let's go ahead and begin. So Jackie, keeping your spine nice and straight, taking a deep breath in, taking a deep breath out, okay? And I'll be tuning into your energy now. Okay, Jackie, I have interlocked together with your frequency. So just keep breathing as I perform the healing service now. Okay, Jackie, just taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, and now all of that energy is going to go to work, so you can just continue your day as usual. I'd usually recommend maybe just drinking a glass of water or two. Okay, just letting all of the energy envelop itself in, ground itself in, because again, I've worked with your entire body. Okay, I worked with the areas that you were talking about, your neck, your back, your wrists, your ankles, and your knees. Okay, so this all represents the nature of joints and your skeletal system. Okay, the problem lies in the hips. Okay, when the hips are misaligned, everything else messes up. Okay, whenever there's problems with the hips, we have problems with our joints, we have problems with our back, we have problems with our shoulders, we have problems with our neck, we have problems with our wrists, we have problems with everything that represents joints, vertebrae, nervous system, okay, muscular system, all of that gets impacted when there's misalignments, particularly through your hips, okay? So Jackie, what I'd like you to do as well is I'd like you to get some appointments going to readjusting your hips, whether you're getting a chiropractor, a massage therapist, whether you're doing a yoga class or anything of that nature, just get your hips adjusted, okay? Very, very important. That is one of the reasons why your body has been in agony. Your hips are out of alignment, all right? So that's what I can suggest to you. But again, healing work is done, but it's not the end of the game here. You got to make sure you're taking good care of your body, okay? Particularly the hips. All right? Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm going to go down, and we're probably going to do about 2 more healing requests. Then we're going to go into group healing, a group healing exercise. Okay, so this one is for Emma Smythe. Emma gave me her donation. Just donated $25, but it doesn't show. Please do a healing for Kurt Smith, who is in long-term care home with dementia. Thank you. Okay. So with Kurt Smith, so I will go ahead and connect with Kurt Smith. I did get a donation here for $5. Okay, so Crystal Princess, I will do yours next after Emma's here, okay? And Crystal will be the last person, and we're going to go into group healing. All right, so Emma working with Kurt Smith, who is in long-term care with dementia. All right, so we will go ahead and work on him. All right. So Emma, like I said to Brad earlier, if you want to just put your hands up like this for healing transmission, okay? So just putting your hand firstly on your heart, taking a deep breath in, deep breath out, and just feel that light of the heart, just radiating that light through your hands, right into your palms, and radiating that pure love through your hands as you tune into the vibration of Kurt Smith, okay? So not just seeing his physical body, but I want you to step into his presence, right? Just like if you were present with him in the room, and you just know, you recognize, you know that's Kurt, okay? As soon as you step in the room, it's him, right? That's the feeling I want you to have, okay? You're stepping into the space, and you know that's his vibration, and that's what you're tuning into, and that's what you can bring healing transmission together with, all right? So I will go ahead now, connect with Kurt Smith's vibration, and we'll begin working on him. Here we go. Okay, I am now interlocked with his vibration. Healing will begin. Okay. So, Emma, just go ahead, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay. If you performed healing onto Kurt, wonderful, great job. Okay, so all of that loving source center vibration is with him. Okay, it's going to be worked on him. And I would say just be aware of how he's feeling between now and the next couple of weeks. Okay, if you want to give me any kind of report on his condition and how he's doing, you can feel free to email me. Just go to newearthteachings.com, go to the contact page, and you can email me there. Okay, blessings to you both. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to go to Crystal Princess. Crystal Princess had the donation here. Alright, so this is from Crystal Princess. Healing request, my left eye keeps getting infected and irritated. I think it's from my tooth on that side. Okay. So yes, we will go ahead and work on your left eye. Now we have to understand that the left eye and right eye represent two different polarities. Okay. So it would represent teeth, but it would be representing teeth more on the left side, or sorry, the right side I should say, because this is your left eye. So looking much more on the teeth on the right side. There's a cross connect here. Okay. And of course, the eyes are also connected to certain areas of the organs as well too. So basically, we're going to do an organ cleanse, teeth cleanse as well too. All right, eye cleanse. So we'll work on all of that. So Crystal Princess, I've worked on you several times before. Okay, and again, it's very important that you're doing a lot of the other free techniques. Maybe you already have. That's great. But I'd like you to start encompassing energy. One of the things I can suggest for you guys, this won't be part of the exercise here. It's going to be happening shortly. But I'd like you just to work on the white light energy ball. Okay, you can find that on my YouTube channel as well too. The white light energy ball healing technique. Okay, and all you're doing is you're just cultivating a white ball of energy. And within it, I want you to put in everything representing good health, love, compassion, joy, seeing your body in a state of complete and total perfection as best as you can, right? And you're just putting that into the ball. As you're putting all of that into the ball, you're taking it and you're just slowly putting it into the solar plexus. And as you're doing that, you're just doing Om chants, right? Om, Om, Om. And you're depositing that into the solar plexus. You're feeling that absorbing itself into the body. And that is going to help you in rejuvenating a lot of the problems that you have, okay? So whether it's coming to an eye condition, whether it's coming to a brain condition, it's coming to a back condition, joint condition, whatever it may be, okay, all of that can get healed if you are persistent in trusting yourself to heal yourselves on a daily basis. I have no problem doing this work, guys, but you have to know I'm not always going to be here, okay? What happens if I drop dead tomorrow? Okay? So you need to realize that a lot of these things that I do, all of you guys can do as well too. Right? Goes back to like what Jesus was saying as we were talking about Jesus earlier. All these things I can do, you can do if you would but believe. Okay? I talk to people who are healers and they have no problem healing other people. When it comes to themselves, they're scared to death. Okay? Oh yeah, I just helped my best friend. She had a problem with her throat. I healed her, no problem. But when it comes to, oh, no, can't do me, right? I mean, people are scared to death of healing themselves. Why? Right? Because, again, they feel like that represents some type of responsibility, okay? And being responsible is all part of the game of being a very powerful healer, all right? So I will go ahead now, Crystal Princess, and work with your left eye, okay? And after working with your left eye, I'll let you know how it goes. And all I want you to do, Crystal Princess, you don't have to do any particular type of, like I said, you don't have to do any pre-arrangements. Just keep your spine nice and straight. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Okay? And then I'll start working on your left eye. Okay? So let's go ahead and begin now. I'm just going to be tuning into your vibrational frequency now. Okay? I'm interlocked with your vibration. And I will go ahead and begin. So Crystal, taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay. And just relaxing yourself. Okay, so all the healing has been done, working with your left eye, and everything that corresponds to the problems with the left eye is being flushed out, is being absorbed with the source center vibration. Okay, so you can let me know how things go over the next few days. Feel free again to go to newerteachings.com, go to the contact page, and you can contact me there. Okay guys, we're almost out of time, so I want to go ahead now and go into the group healing. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to stand up and we're going to do Xiaogong. Okay, so Xiaogong is me first and foremost. So for those of you who have seen me do this before, this is nothing new to you. Okay, you should pretty much already be aware of what I will be doing. If you are new to the nature of Xiaogong, Xiaogong just represents collecting work. It is a Qigong practice. Okay? What we're going to do here is we're going to actually start cleaning out the body using the power of the Xiaogong practice. Okay? So what I want you to do right now for women, put your right hand here, left hand over top. For men, left hand here, right hand over top. Okay? And just have a slight bend in the knees. Okay, and I want you just to stay here for just a moment. Just breathing in slowly, breathing out slowly, just as you're gathering qi within your body. So just doing that for a few more seconds. Okay, very good. So now we'll go ahead and we'll straighten our legs. We're just going to take our arms like this and we're just going to move them up as we inhale. And once we get to the top of our crown, we're just slowly exhaling. Okay, so I'm just showing you the motion first of the Xiaogong. Once we get down to the navel, we just stay there for 1, 2, 3. Okay? So right now I want you just to be aware of any particular pressure, of any tension, of any discrepancies that you are finding within your body, okay? And when you do Xiaogong, once you know those areas of pockets are, it could be something physical, mental, or emotional, then we're using the Xiaogong to basically absorb all of that, even if it's going all the way down from the legs, right? It's kind of like looking at these two palms as magnets, okay? The magnets are just absorbing all of that debris from within your body, and it's being put directly into the lower dantian, into the navel, to be absorbed and to therefore being purged from the body, okay? This is basically preventing our body from going into short circuits, okay? So basically what happens is that we breathe improperly, we eat improperly, we exercise improperly, we think improperly, and all of this becomes scattered, right? They're basically just these currents that are just running through areas of the body and are scattered. Okay? So what we're doing is we're gathering them all together through the power of Xiaogong as we exhale here, and we're absorbing it all into the palms like they're magnets. Okay? So you're just feeling all of that energy being moved into the magnets of your palm, and then resting here at the navel. 1, 2, 3, drop. Okay? So we're going to do this a total of 3 times together. So now that you're aware of any particular discrepancies within your body, we're going to again inhale, bringing the hands up. Exhale, just like magnets, absorbing all of that debris and putting it into the navel for 1, 2, 3, drop. We're going to do it a second time. Inhale. Exhale, absorbing all of that debris with the magnets of your palms. As you slowly exhale, bring it down to the navel. 1, 2, 3, drop. One more time. Inhale. Collecting all of that debris, the magnets of your palms as you exhale. Going slowly down to the navel. 1, 2, 3, drop. Okay, great. Good job, guys. So I want you to continue to work with the Xiaogong, with that Qigong practice. Work with that daily. You're going to notice a big difference. I was getting a nice, lovely charge there as well, too, as I was doing it. So guys, thank you for joining me for today's episode of New Earth TV Live. I had a great time with all of you. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well, too. Just again, one more reminder. of the Etherics Academy. Okay, the Etherics Academy is now online. It is available now for enrollment. Okay, so you can go to ethericsacademy.com and you can enroll there. There is availability with PayPal. I do have Stripe up as well too. So if you guys can't use PayPal, you should be able to use Stripe. If you guys are having problems with that and there's only PayPal, let me know and I can see what I can do about that. But PayPal and Stripe are available through the Etherics Academy. Okay, ethericsacademy.com. Available, like I said, enrollment is between today and September 18th. So we got that 30-day window. So it's good to act fast with the Etherics Academy. Thank you guys. And again, I'll have more videos on the Etherics Academy this weekend. Blessings to you all. Thank you very much, guys. Om Shanti 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 Namaskar. And may it be well with you. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also etherics.co. And through Etherics, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through Etherics. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on Etherics as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on Etherics. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti 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 Namaskar, and may it be well with you.